Hey folks, welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3, where we've made our way to the Wyrmway and currently face a series of challenges designed to test our worth before we meet with the dragon and Sur. Now, last time I made you guys a promise. After stumbling in this puzzle, I made a promise that I would not look up the solution. And I am ashamed to admit that after about 15 minutes I gave up, said fuck this, and went and looked up the solution because I could not figure it out for myself. So let's take a moment to mourn my sacred honor. In fairness to myself, I've probably played less than 100 games of chess in my life, but there was no way I was figuring this out, and I didn't get the sort of secret hidden solution either. So let's talk about what went wrong. My first attempt was to move this rook to this square here, which technically makes it so the king cannot move without being knocked over on the second turn. However, the problem is this bishop here, this black bishop here, if I move the rook, can then take my king. So it's not actually checkmate because I lose the game immediately before my next turn. I did figure out that in order to force the king to move, in other words, in order to prevent any other kind of shenanigans, we have to put the king in check at least. Can't do that with any of these pawns, can't do that with the king, can't move our rook because then we lose. So the only piece we can do anything with that actually puts the king in check at least is this white queen. I did figure out this part. So of the available moves, if we move here, the king can take him. If we move, we could theoretically move here, but then the king moves here and we have no follow-up move. If we move to the right, we can get taken by this pawn. If we move here, we get taken by the king. If we come down here, the king moves there and we have no follow-up. And if we move here, the king moves here and we have no follow-up, except the problem with chess is you have to think multiple moves ahead, and you have to remember the shape of the board after you've moved and after your opponent's moved. Anyway, if the king moves here to get away from us on the second move, and this is what I had to look up, then we can put him in checkmate. So the correct solution for the puzzle, at least, is to come here first and then here, and I'll show you that solution in a second. The other available solution is, if you remember what Baldur actually said, was the king must topple in 2 moves. And I was trapped into thinking about, well, I have to do this by moving the chess pieces, but the king has 50 hit points and is vulnerable to lightning damage, immune to everything else. If you happen to have somebody who can cast lightning bolt, which at the moment I do not, you can also just straight up kill it. You can destroy the piece. That counts as a victory too. But let's do the chess move here. So we take the white queen here to put the king in check. The king moves here to get away. And now the problem that I had with this move was, how do I finish? Where can I go? Again, we can't move our rook because if we do, our white king gets taken, we lose the game. None of our pieces can put him in check. So we have to use the queen a second time and put the king in check again. If we come here, king takes queen. We don't finish in 2 moves. Same deal here. And in my head, I was thinking same deal here. So I didn't see the solution. The thing is, if the king chooses to move here, then the rook can take it. So that's the solution. That puts the king in checkmate. There's no moves that don't result in the king being destroyed. The Black King has fallen. May you always crush the wicked, be they pawn, knight, or monarch. Proceed. So, yeah, I had to cheat on this one, and feels bad, man. But I wasn't about to risk failing one of the challenges and finding out that you need all of them to wake the dragon. So, there we go. There's your solution. And then this is an attempt counter. These were attempt counters. You get 3 attempts. So, I made my first move. It was incorrect. We lost 1. You have 2 more tries to kill him within 2 turns. And there's the solution. I don't know what else to say about this except that we're going to move on and you're going to be seeing me play live. So hopefully there won't be anything else that I really can't figure out on my own or within the constraints of the episode time. Looks like we've unlocked Journal of Past Adventures number 3. Was there a number 2 in the previous chamber? I don't quite remember. I don't think, if there was, I don't think I saw it. I'm gonna snatch this up. And we're gonna go head back and see about Journal number 2. I prefer to read these in orders. I prefer to read these in order. We did see the first journal, which talked about how they are going to come here with unrusted swords. Was the big thing? Huh. I don't see a journal here. So maybe we don't have access to journal number 2. Alright. Well, in that case, I'll hold on to journal number 3 for now and hope we find journal number 2 in a bit. Okay, the double iron doors are locked. I'm assuming they can't be picked. You're right. Okay. So... Oh, there is an invisible bridge here. Very nice. I thought we were going to have to fly over. Let's come over here and check out this door next. Oh, I see enemies ahead. Hold on. Where are the enemies? What are we facing here? I can see over here Stead, Amaps, and Swelto. Okay, these guys have 1 hit point. So... I'm not thinking this is this is probably not exactly a combat challenge. Although they may very well attack us. I'm not sure what this challenge is. I think my usual habit of just attacking anyone I can with an ambush is probably wrong here, or could be wrong. So we'll risk taking some damage to come in here and find out what this actually is. Probably our best bet is to check in with the statue of Baldur.
A good leader has the insight to find good counsel. As a war reaches its end, there is one who doesn't advise for the city's prosperity. Find him and strike him down.
Okay, so this is an insight challenge. Let's take a look at our characters here. Insight, +4 for Tava, actually. +2 or 0 for everybody else. So Tava is the one to do this. Let's go interview these ghosts, these shades, and find the one who is not advocating for the city's well-being. We have a flying book here. Stoll's, what is this? Stead's Virtues of Unions.
Something's in my mind.
All right, Astarion, snatch this book for us. Okay. Astarion got the book. Let's check this out. The Virtues of Unions by Alwyn Stead. It is quite obvious that larger kingdoms offer benefits to all peoples within. As a kingdom grows, so does its fields, its populace, and its economy. A few charred corpses is a worthy sacrifice if a dragon offers to share its hoard, after all. So too should you seek union, however imperfect, should a powerful kingdom march its army on your borders. Some friction is inevitable, of course. Citizens' rights might erode, for instance. But such lesser issues will be sanded down by the march of time. Such is the price of peace. Okay, a pragmatic approach.
Can't give up now. Wonder if the gods are watching me.
Another flying book over here. We'll keep using Astarion to snatch these out of the air, as he is most likely to succeed on sleight of hand checks.
Tavish, get down here! Tavish, Get down here! Tavish! Get down here!
Is this flying on a fixed path?
Tavish! Get down here!
Okay, so sleight of hand is not how we retrieve this one. Let's take a look at it. Suelto's Ethic of War. 2 hit points, level 9 construct. Vulnerable to fire and radiant. I wonder if killing it would allow us to read it. Let's hold off on that for the moment.
Yes, please.
Still breathing, despite everything.
He's saying, how do we stop it from flying? What do we have here? The Approachable East. Oral Histories of Faerun, the Spell Plague. The gate is closed? Yeah. We've seen that before. Excavation of the Enclave of Naloth we've read. Missives of Candlekeep. I don't think we've read it, but I don't think it's relevant.
How much further can I go?
The Folly and the Fall. A folded handbill advertising the works of this sharp-tongued traveling troupe. Maybe a play about Karsus? An open letter on oppression and peacocks. Okay. The 5-Year War, a Diplomat's Record. By Torwin Bass. The war was, in truth, nothing short of a tragedy. It began as a mild altercation between the sanguine sons of the Aelio and Vita families regarding, if you can believe it, the proper ownership of a sheep farm. Over the course of 3 seasons, full-blown conflict had erupted between Baldur's Gate and Victon. A pointless war, leaving both cities with nothing but 1,000 youthful corpses to show for it. I wonder if there's some way we can attract this flying book down to us? Or maybe we just have to... Maybe we have to hit it? I don't see a way to attract it. So we could attack it to try and get our hands on it. Possibly we could cast slow on it, or what other spells could we cast? Maybe we just, I don't know, do we take a shot at it? It's a construct, so if we hit it, vulnerable to slashing and damage, immune to bludgeoning. If we slash it, do we destroy it, or do we get to pick it up and read it? Seems like slashing it would destroy it. It's vulnerable to radiant damage. Do we shock it, maybe? Nothing in here about lightning damage. We just need to do 2 hit points of damage to it. I can't think... I mean, I could think of maybe a charm person, but that only works on a humanoid. This is a construct. A dispel magic would be useful, but we don't have access to it. I don't know. I feel like we need to read it, so I'm going to try to put a shocking grasp on it.
Spill some blood.
Okay. That appears to have destroyed it, so we cannot read it. So that was wrong. Yikes. Okay.
Let's get going.
Let's see about this last one. Oh, we can go in a turn order to grab it, huh?
I should speak up.
I wish I thought of that. No, we can't.
Ugh, hold still, will you?
Talk? Throw?
Hold still, will you?
Throw it to Karlach? And now Karlach's right next to it. Can you grab it?
Come on, let's go. Come on. I won't hurt you on purpose.
Tavis, get down here.
Okay, Karlach,
I could go for a good...
move away. Astarion, get right next to it. And snatch it.
Tavis, get down here.
Oh, now Karlach got the sleight of hand check, but Astarion doesn't for some reason. I wonder if each of them only gets one try to snatch these up. Let's have Will try. Okay, so maybe they only get one try each. Okay. So let's read Amap's memoirs. My life has been a long succession of pleasures. To see my town take to my ideas and cease legal discrimination of local orcs. To see my fights against horrid living conditions in city factories take off. To have the chance to see a new generation take to these ideas of a better, kinder, fairer, intelligent world and run with it to new reaches of the continent. It was not a life without struggle, however, and I shall regret its failures. My old friend Suelto comes to mind, who adopted such cruel ideologies later in life. I will forever console myself in the idea that such a brilliant mind could only conceive such theories under the strain of exile and the promise of reinstatement, as she ultimately was. We've actually read this book earlier in the series. I don't remember exactly. So Amap's was about being better, kinder, nicer. And then Stead was about the virtues of unions. So we have Stead, Amap's, and Suelto. Suelto was the one who turned cruel, but I don't know that, man, I wish we could have read her book as well. It's not like coming back or anything. We destroyed it. Well, okay. Let's see what else we can figure out here.
Don't waste a step.
Lessons of Helm. Baldurin founds a city. This text roots its subject on Baldurin, a sailor of exquisite renown who founded the city of Baldur's Gate many years ago. The prose is colorful, but a little too self-satisfied round the edges, and the novel would be unremarkable but for one small entry about halfway through. Baldurin claimed a guardian and friend, Ansur. Bright were Ansur's scales, and brighter still his breath. Yet, after a betrayal too piercing to recount here in worthy detail, Ansur fled beneath the stone, thereby changing the name of the region he now slumbers under to match his draconic lineage. Ah. This suggests that waking Ansur may turn into a combat, a fight, a betrayal. The region he now slumbers under to match his draconic lineage. Does that mean the Wyrmway? That is interesting. I wonder, when we meet Ansur, will we be glad we did? Here we have the Purged Palette Midwinter Edition. And it looks like that's about it. So we got a little bit of insight into two of them. Stead's the virtue of unions. And Amap's is kinder, gentler, but worries about Suelto, who became cruel. Alright, let's speak to the three of them. Let's get our insight checks going and see which one we want to strike down. Oh, we can't actually speak to them. So, given what we've actually read, I guess the one we would strike down would be Suelto. Man, I wish I had that third book for comparison. The only hints we have are the two books. And Baldur's challenge to us when we entered, which was... not recorded here. So based on the books we did manage to get, Stead talks about the kingdom as a whole. Only one does not advocate for the city. I think that's what he said, right? So here's the question then. AMAP's memoirs. Cease legal discrimination of local orcs. See my fights against horrid living conditions in city factories take off. Have the chance to see a new generation take to these ideas of a kinder, fairer, intelligent world. Run it and run with it to new reaches of the continent. You could make an argument that this is not about the welfare of the city. This is about the welfare of the individual within the city. My old friend Suelto comes to mind, who adopted such cruel ideologies later in life. Only conceive such theories under the strain of exile. We don't have her book, but if I have to guess, I guess we're taking down Suelto here. Man, I want that. I wish I had that third book. But it sounds like Suelto's the one we need to take down. Alright, let's do it. An insightful decision. The tree of peace bore lasting fruit. Proceed. Okay, we made the right choice. Whew. That was another tough one. Okay, back across. It seems we are unlikely to locate Journal of Adventures number 2, so we'll see. It's not like we're getting one for each challenge that we complete, so we may end up reading 3 soon. Oh, here's Journal number 2. Okay, they didn't do it in order. They went a different way than we did. All right, let's check out 2 and 3. Seems we have another puzzle here.
Paintings hung on the wall, almost like an art gallery.
Baldur, what's your charge here?
A true champion knows justice and eliminates those who stand in its way. Restore the balance of justice.
Justice. No pardon without repentance, and no penalty without mercy. The right path often lies between the extremes.
Mercy? Please. Justice should be a harsh lesson. All the better to deter the next vagabond.
Is that a general aphorism of yours, or are you trying to be helpful?
Both. Relevant words for times of strife, and for a dragon's underground trial, if we're lucky.
I tend to agree more with Will than Astarion, just as a personal thing. Alright, let's check out the journals that we've managed to find. So, Journal of Past Adventurers number 2. I hadn't expected puzzles. Is the Great Worm really hidden behind tests of this kind? I'd expected feats of strength, yes, but nothing like this, like it was designed for sport. Journal number 3. Vedor and Unglir are gone. Our hubris is evident. Elementals took us by surprise. There are still 3 of us, for now. Alright, so they lost a couple people to the Elementals, so we're doing better than they are. Now, interesting point of order here. We have Devil's Sight on Will here. You can see normally in darkness both magical and non-magical. So, maybe Will takes the lead here, because we've got some paintings shrouded in darkness here. There's the Judge, some shrouded paintings, the Waiting Judgment, And then we have some additional paintings around the outside here. Viridian crystal. Alright, so we're looking for... I think we're looking for something like balance, but let's get started with Will here. The apple.
The apple. The painting depicts a red-haired man stealing a shiny apple from a cart in an open-air market. You know this market, the Wide, where Baldur's Gate citizens and visitors gather to conduct trade and wax political.
Okay, so a man stealing an apple. The child.
The child. A red-haired man is portrayed with his cloak's hood lowered, giving an apple to a smiling urchin. Several other children are huddled behind the one receiving the apple, hands outstretched.
Okay, so it suggests these two are connected. That this man stole not for his own gain or greed, but to fill the need of hungry children. Just right off the bat, that's an interesting comment, that context matters when judging a crime. Justice is not quite the same thing as the law, because the law doesn't care the reason or the intention why you took the apple. It's theft is theft, right? That's not entirely true in all jurisprudence. I think if you can demonstrate that you truly believed with cause that the apples were free for the taking, I think there's mitigation there where there is something about intention where if you didn't think you were committing a crime, that can be a factor in your guilt or innocence in certain circumstances, I believe. I may be wrong about that. I'm not a lawyer. I worked for lawyers for 20 years, but I never studied the law. All right, let's look at the induction. That's weird.
The induction. A red-haired man is depicted in hushed conversation with a dark-haired woman. She wears a cloak with an unusual symbol on it. Tally marks totaling the number 9.
Okay. I don't know if that's related to Nine Fingers Keen or not, but it's certainly evocative of that. So, again, are we proceeding through a story here that tells us justice is more complicated than it might seem at first glance? Because first we have this guy stealing an apple. That's a bad thing. Then he appears to be feeding children with a stolen apple, which is, you know, a good deed done through illegal means. Now he's speaking with a criminal master. So what if he's baiting or luring these children to become pickpockets for the guild? Then his intentions again shift and change, and the story's meaning, the painting's meaning, is altered by future events, by further context. I don't know what this weird marking on the wall is. Is it writing of some sort? All right, let's look at the theft.
The theft. A red-haired man is depicted in the Hall of Wonders, thieving what looks to be a priceless artifact.
Arcana failed. Let's have Astarion take a quick peek at this one since it's visible to him.
How about this?
The theft. A red-haired man is depicted in the Hall of Wonders, thieving what looks to be a priceless artifact. It's an astrolabe of entrapment. It could hold a dozen djinn within it, perhaps even more.
Astrolabe of enchantment. Is he going to use that to capture all those kids?
I'll take that.
Now I'm nervous about how this story's going to end. There's this weird, like, it almost seems like writing, but it's been faded away by time or a busted enchantment. I'm not sure if that's relevant or not, but it seems like it's not a glitch. It seems like it's meant to be there. Not sure about that. All right, Will, continue your tour of the paintings here. The chase.
chase. A red-haired man is depicted running through the city streets, a flaming fist officer chasing just behind. A cloaked woman, hair dark as a raven, looks on from a safe distance.
Okay.
Best foot forward.
The judgment.
The judgment. A stern judge, his pockets full of coin, orders a red-haired man to the gallows.
His pockets.
Shiny apple rests on the ground nearby.
Oh, maybe we've misunderstood. Perhaps. Okay, perhaps his intention was to feed those children. And he felt that the one apple he was able to steal was not enough. Plus, it wasn't fair to the apple cart vendor. So he went to the guild and said, "I need gold." And the guildmaster said, "Fine, go to the House of Wonders and steal the astrolabe there. Bring it to me, and I'll give you enough gold to feed these children for years." The fact that the judge's pockets are full of coin is interesting. It suggests he's been bribed. So perhaps the guildmaster used this red-haired man to get the astrolabe, then told the judge, you know, muzzle him so he can't say anything about me, make sure he goes to the gallows, dead men tell no tales. She bribed him to say, he's the fall guy, get rid of him, maybe. Okay. We do have three shrouded paintings here. I don't know whether Will's Devil's Sight will come into play or not, but let's take a look with him.
There's no expelling the dark aura. Not while that thing still stands. There's no expelling the dark aura. Not while that thing still stands.
All right, so your Devil's Sight is useless here, unfortunately. All right. So we've seen the whole story. It's up to us, I guess, to come to an interpretation of what actually happened, or perhaps to judge the man in question. Let's have Tava speak with the judge.
Seems like a good moment to talk.
Away! Behold, the paintings tell the tale. My judgment is rendered. The thief earns his due.
Shrouded sentence? The judge is obscuring paintings within 6 meters, preventing judgment from being passed on an accused soul. So we can attack the judge. I would love to make him run away, maybe with a turn undead, but we don't have our cleric with us. If this judge is the same one in there, let's look at the waiting judgment. We have to insert an item. Okay. So, I feel like maybe we have to kill the judge, attack the judge, drive the judge away so we can see these shrouded paintings. I'm reluctant to kill him because that's permanent, and then we can't speak with him.
No, the judge has spoken. The crime must be punished. Begone! The sword of justice falls on the wicked. Off with you! His reckoning must come. Death is the price. Away! Behold, the paintings tell the tale. My judgment is rendered. The thief earns his due.
I think for me, the fact that the judge's pocket is full of gold is the key detail that changes the nature of the entire story for me. I think our late interpretation is correct. I think the red-haired man agreed to do a job for the guild in exchange for enough money to feed the children, because one apple is not going to feed 4, 5, 6, 7 hungry children. I think the guildmaster sent him to steal the astrolabe and then bribed the judge to get rid of the fall guy while she kept her stolen artifact. Presumably has no intention of feeding the children. And if this judge is standing in the way of true justice, then he's got to go. I feel like I had an item that had turn undead on it somewhere. Why do you not have a weapon equipped? Where is your Blood of Lathander? There we go. Actually, let's go ahead and turn on Lathander's light. Does that do anything to him? No. I think we got to kill this judge. We got to get rid of him. Oh. Now what was that about? Oh, look at this. He's like immune to everything. Force, radiant, necrotic, poison, psychic, cold, fire, lightning, thunder, acid. So I think we do need to turn undead here. Damn. I could have sworn I had an item for this. Oh, don't we have... We have Exhort the Risen, right? Flee. Maybe we can try this. Hey, nice. Okay, alright. The dishonorable judge was banished, but judgment must still be passed. Okay. Hey, that was actually really nice. Really nice use there of that ability.
Still alive, so that's progress.
Okay. So there are symbols on the ground here. These are not numbers. These are symbols that I can't read. All right. Let's look at the remaining paintings here. The hanging.
The hanging. A red-haired man is depicted hanging from a gallows as a crowd looks on. You notice a child in the crowd, a falling tear leaving a trail on his cheek.
Freedom.
Freedom. A red-haired man walks the streets of Baldur's Gate, clad in a billowing cloak. You catch a glimpse of a sly smile beneath his hood, and a golden coin in his hand.
A thief walks free. Is this truly justice?
The cell.
The cell. A stern prison guard slides a warm meal into the thief's cell. The red-haired man has a 10-day left to serve, judging by the scratchings on the wall behind him.
Yeah. I think the cell is appropriate, right? He made a bad judgment. He didn't go, try to get a job. He didn't try to, feed those kids the honest way. But his intentions were not malicious, for sure. I think he made a mistake. If we put him in a cell, he has a chance to reform, right? He could turn out to be, recidivist. He could end up stealing again as soon as he gets out. But at least this gives him a chance, and I don't think he deserves death. Certainly not given what he was trying to do. So, I think the cell is our judgment here. You banished the dishonorable judge and applied Lex Talionis, the punishment being appropriate to the crime. You are a paragon of justice. Proceed. Okay, success. All right. That one feels good. I like that one. We did that on our own. Didn't cheat. Didn't look up the solution. Figured it out live. All right. With that... Oh, I wonder, actually. How much are these worth? A pound for 35 gold? Okay, so we've completed 4 trials successfully. One with a little bit of help from our friends on the internet. Looks like Oh, the entrance opened. Okay, the double iron doors cracked open and we're free to go meet Ansur. All right. Well, guys, with that, our trials, at least on this level of the Wyrmway, are complete and we can proceed onwards. I'm going to take a break here. When we come back next time, we'll make our way through the iron doors down into Ansur's lair to meet with him, see whether he still holds fond feelings for Baldur and his namesake city, and if he's willing to help us battle the Elder Brain, the Absolute, or if the betrayal mentioned in that one text has turned him sour on the idea, and if we'll have a battle on our hands. Either way, should be an interesting episode, and I hope to see you there. Thanks as always for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.